This is getting worse and worse, or better or better.
You
this
just
is
saw
like
episode 5 of Making a Murderer.
This is like masquerade. This is like a fairy tale nightmare. First of all, they asked the police guy,
Andrew Colborn?
and he said, "Did you said the car was like Toyota something?"
Yeah,
and he said,
99
"No, I believe she said it." He didn't even know what he says. But the jury can still believe he's guilty? First of all, these police officers, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They say one thing and then they think another. Nothing is consistent or accurate about these testimonies, you know? This case should be thrown out before it's over.
Yeah, 2 days before her car is found, Andrew Colborn is calling in the license plate of her car. And 3 weeks before Teresa Halbach was allegedly killed on the 31st, he was being deposed. And remember, he was saying he got a phone call in the jail from a detective in another city saying, "I have a guy here. He says he committed a sex crime in your city that somebody else is in prison for from 1985." Or I don't know if he said the year, but somebody else is committed. And he said, and remember, he said, I didn't. I just called the detective and I sent it there. And they said, "You didn't make a report about it, correct?" He said, "No, you didn't make a report about it for 8 years until after he was told to, after Stephen Avery was exonerated and he was put in a safe." And now he's there on the scene, but not on the scene necessarily. He's calling in license plate.
I'm not a lawyer or anything, but why they investigate only Steve? Why they didn't investigate so many people she was surrounded?
Now I want to bring that up because there was so much that went by me the first time.
The boy was not
Ryan Hillegas, the ex-boyfriend.
What the heck?
He didn't remember what time he visited her on Sunday.
If he was he might not remember. Wait a minute. He might not remember the time, but he didn't remember if it was a day or night.
And he was stumbling over his words and stuff.
And did you see he didn't look anybody straight? He was looking like this.
His responses were fishy as hell. For all I know,
I'm not throwing stones, but I'm
for
just
all I know,
saying,
he was just getting drunk and didn't want to admit that he's an alcoholic. That's for all I know. But
oh, really? Wow. My goodness.
Wait. What do you mean?
I'm really
saying for all I know.
Right.
Meaning I don't know. I can't say one way or the other.
Right.
Maybe he's just doesn't want to admit that he was just doing something that's embarrassing. But he says he guessed her password in a couple tries, and then when they say what was her password, he can't remember.
And he said he didn't erase the stuff. And where is the...
Who erased the voicemail?
Yeah, who erased it? And where is the voicemail?
Nobody was saying Teresa Halbach was alive on the 2nd and 3rd, and yet days later, and nobody can say who deleted the voicemails.
Okay.
Nobody's saying Teresa deleted them. Nobody's saying Steve Avery got her password somehow and deleted them. Somebody deleted them.
Who was the person who calling her and she didn't pick up? Because the other guy asked, a co-worker asked her, said, "Tell me, I can call this person." Nah, that's okay. Now, who is that?
Well,
and why it's not on the voicemail?
Well, we don't know, and now least of all the police, because they didn't even bother checking. In a person who's missing and later found killed, and her body
So
burned.
in other words, they just went straight to Steve Avery's. What the heck he was talking about?
Yeah.
He didn't even remember. He mentioned the type of car, and he said, "No, I believe she said that to me." You know how dumb that is?
Yeah. And then he said, "Well, Mark Wiegert must have told me the plate numbers to run for the missing person." But he said, "I don't remember how I got those plates." Really? In a case where Stephen Avery was the suspect, that wasn't memorable to him? If it was anybody else, and if it wasn't a missing person, maybe running plates wouldn't be that remarkable, like if it was an abandoned car.
And they didn't investigate anybody else, except Steve Avery.
But for him to place himself in a position, he didn't say he was there at the RAV4, but for him to have called in the plates, it stinks. It taints the whole investigation. The fact that he was there being questioned and potentially having serious consequences to his career 3 weeks before Teresa Halbach went missing. Remember, he was being deposed and said, "I just passed along the information that somebody else confessed to Stephen Avery's crime," and didn't make a report about it for 8 years. And all of a sudden he's conveniently calling in the plates of Teresa. Well, he's calling in the license plate number of Teresa Halbach's car, but he says, "No, I wasn't there." And Pamela Sturm, How in the hell did she find that car? She said God guided her.
Okay, listen.
Very
I believe in the Lord, but please don't tell me God guided her and she had a tear in her eye.
Oh yeah, I guess you're against God if you think she didn't find it. And if you think Stephen Avery is not guilty, or at least there's not sufficient evidence.
She has tears in her eyes. The crocodile tear. Come on, that was totally. Oh.
Yeah, it's interesting. The first time I saw it, I didn't think it was that suspicious because I was trying to take in all this information.
Not only suspicious, she's fake. It's a whole thing is
too
fake.
Weird. And Ryan Hillegas, I can't get over how strange he behaves in his testimony, saying, "Oh well, I was there. We searched whatever."
Don't remember.
And he said I gave a camera to Pamela Sturm to search Stephen Avery's property.
Yeah.
And then remember Jerry Buting said, I think it was Jerry Buting, and that's Dean Strang said, you gave only her a camera and nobody else who was searching. And she found Teresa Halbach's car. Of course, he didn't lay it out like that. He let the jury sort of think about it.
It was God who told, look, what's her name?
Teresa Halbach.
No,
Pamela Sturm.
Pamela, look, go that way, go that way.
You saw how huge that lot was. There must have been at least 200 cars on that lot.
It's like a waterfall. Okay, go there. Here's the guardian angel. Go over there. You found it.
Would have come back the next day. It sounded so weird. But I can't get over the deleted voicemails. The first time I saw it, I'm just wondering, well, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Maybe you delete something to leave a voicemail, but they didn't. Well, it may have been left out of the documentary, but the big gaping hole is, why wasn't it followed up? Who deleted those voicemails? Was there something incriminating on the voicemails that let people know who was calling Teresa and bothering her?
And she didn't bother to pick up because it was very annoying and everything. And
then Bobby Dassy, Brendan's brother, saying that he heard on November 3rd. Why did he come up with this right now? I missed that too the first time. Saying, this is stuff I thought, well, maybe there's some more ambiguity about whether Stephen Avery's innocent or not. Bobby Dassy said Stephen Avery said on November 3rd, want to help me hide a body or something, like a joke. But it turns out he never said that. It was somebody else who said that, and they said it happened on November 10th, after Teresa Halbach was already, her remains were found. They didn't want to let anything get in the way of prosecution of Stephen. And anyways, when I heard that about Andrew Colborn, and he's sheepishly saying, well, I don't know, I don't remember how I got those plate numbers. Really? On a missing persons case, on Stephen Avery, you would think he'd remember everything about that.
10-year-old can tell you that. 10-year-old can tell you that. And
Andrew Colborn is promoted. He still works at Manitowoc Sheriff's Office.
No kidding. Investigators, the police, they did a lousy job, and nobody believes them.
And it's funny.
Except Nancy Grace.
Right, except the other sheriff, the sheriff there now saying, oh, the filmmakers should be ashamed of themselves for doing it. No evidence they can introduce has any weight against what they did. The tampered vial of blood. Andrew Colborn calling in the license plate number. Bobby Dassy lying about what day he was told that joke, or at least being given that, fed that information. Ryan Hillegas, all the information. Pamela Sturm saying she's walked up to the car and found it and had the camera there.
Why they say the filmmakers should be shamed? They should be shamed.
I'm not even interested in answering that question. It's obvious.
So 5 more is more to come.
This is just the beginning of the trial. What are your thoughts overall about what this shows about how the justice system works and the courts and the police? But it just sucks.
What is there my thoughts to be? There is nothing there who tells me they have a case. I mean, the prosecution, you know. I do better job. If I will do better job, go there. I don't have a law degree. I'm not a lawyer. But it speaks for itself. What can I say? Yeah. What is there to say?
Detective Fassbender said, we questioned Steve Avery because he was the last person to see Teresa Halbach. But unless they investigate the other leads, they don't know if he's the last person.
If Dr. Phil got involved, that tells you something.
Okay.
If
Yep.
Dr. Phil called the sheriff and give them
Okay.
piece of his mind, that tells you everything.
Okay, well, you're talking about Dr. Phil allegedly giving a statement today. This is not in the documentary.
No, it's not. Oh my God.
It's, oh man, the hairs were standing on
Exactly.
my body.
This is the most unreasonable trial I haven't
What
seen.
kind of justice is this, or fact finding, or prosecution?
The justice has nothing to do. It's the people who running the justice or behind the justice.
And it's a travesty
Who doing
for
that?
Teresa Halbach and her family, because they're supposed to find the killer, not just
Right.
convict someone.
Right. So the law is the law, but it's the people who are behind the law and doing all these unorthodox and sinful things is terrible.
When they asked Ryan Hillegas, was he questioned together with Teresa's roommate or separately? He looked up. He was, I think, yeah,
Right.
he was looking
He
up
didn't
at the
even
ceiling,
know.
staring
Yeah,
around.
like
What, was he high? Was he in a coma? He couldn't remember that?
he had no idea it was coming. He didn't know what to say.
The whole thing
Right.
just stinks.
Let's see what's
and is
happening
crooked.
in the next ones.
Okay.
We take it from there. The whole thing sucks.